Yeah, I remember a time that God spoke to me. My wife and family and I were living in Southern California at the time, and we'd been really praying because we felt like God was leading us to be in full-time ministry.
I remember a time in my life when God spoke to me about the mission that He wanted me to accomplish.
I remember God speaking to me about 7 years ago when I was living in Vacaville, and it was just time for a change in my life.
I remember my wife and I coming out of a hospital visit together, I think with one of our children that was getting ready to be born.
I was in the middle of the sanctuary, framing walls, and just as clear as day, I just felt the Lord speak to me and say that this is where you're supposed to be.
What God has asked me to do is make people really feel uncomfortable and challenge their notions of what the Christian life is and ought to be.
I didn't really want to move to Lodi. I didn't think there were any good churches in Lodi, and I have family here, but I didn't really have any friends or good relationships here.
We were in the elevator coming down out of the hospital, and there was a lady who stepped into the elevator, and you could tell that she was physically troubled. In fact, she was crying, looking at some paperwork, and I really had a sense that she herself or somebody that she knew was experiencing the diagnosis of cancer in their life. I really felt that strong in my heart.
And so she started praying. We prayed for about a month and a half and planned a trip to come back up to Stockton to really seek out and to continue to pray through the city and see if in fact the Lord did want us there.
And when I first started to sense God calling me into that and really speaking into my heart, it was really scary. I knew it goes against everything that I have personally, because I don't like to do that. I don't like confrontation. I don't like to make people dislike me.
I haven't moved to Lodi yet. The final compromise that I moved after several different things was I moved to Galt. And now I'm kind of feeling like for the last year, I really want to be in Lodi, and I'm really ready to be there. But it's taking some time.
And I really felt like I should talk to her or ask if everything was okay, or if she would even want prayer. I really felt like the Lord was asking me to do that. And out of just kind of a fear of not knowing that person and what that person would think, this weirdo in the elevator asking her a personal question like that, I chose not to do anything at all.
Since we've been here, the Lord has been so faithful to just show us that really it's all about being surrendered to His will and allowing Him to work in our lives and do what He wants, and that He will provide everything that we need. And it's not always what we think we need, but it's always exactly what we need and when we need it.
It has cost me some relationships. It's cost me a reputation of being well-liked to being somebody who is challenging and sometimes uncomfortable to be around. And that makes me uncomfortable to know that people think about me that way. But here again, I have to go back to what God has really asked me to do. And when I stop and think about it, and I ask God, are you sure, God, this is what you want me to do? This is what He keeps on putting back into my heart. This you must do. And I have run from this my whole life.
In hindsight, I wish I would have listened to God. He knew and He knows what's going to happen in our lives. He knows the future. Life would have been a lot easier if I would have listened then, because this is now where I want to be, and He knew that.
And after that, she left the elevator immediately, and immediately upon my own heart, I felt like I had missed an opportunity to respond to just something that God wanted me to do. Not that I felt like that I was going to pray for healing or that any of that kind of stuff, just the ability of obedience to step out and do something that God was asking me to do. In fact, not only did I feel that immediately, but I felt it all day long. And not like a condemnation, not something that was like shame on you for not doing that, but a sense of that I missed an opportunity in my life to step out in an area of obedience and trust and faith in God, to do something as minor as asking someone if they're okay or if they would like prayer in their life. And I still vividly remember that whole experience just like it was yesterday.
What I've realized over the years is we serve a God that likes to rock people's boats. And for me and what He's asking me to do, He is using me to accomplish that work in people's lives.